I'm the Big Shot Critic. You're probably expecting a funny introduction to the topic, but frankly, my viewers, I don't give a damn. I've talked about Star Wars a few times on this channel. I've called it the most influential and the most celebrated film of all time. But there's a reason I've never called it the biggest, and that reason is Gone with the Wind. On the box of the 65th anniversary edition of Gone with the Wind, there is a quote from Kenneth Turan of the Los Angeles Times. Movie cases almost always feature banal or heavily exaggerated quotes from the press. Here are some examples from my own collection. Eddie the Eagle is a funny and inspiring family film. Wow. Quantum of Solace is the perfect Bond film. G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra is awesome. Jack Reacher is a thrilling film. And Aquaman is an adventurous visual spectacle. Wildly entertaining. Wildly entertaining. Wildly entertaining. A meaningful press quote is a rare thing. Whoever designed this case for Gone with the Wind must have taken special satisfaction imprinting these words from Kenneth Turan. Without serious rivals as America's most popular film, enormous in every way. Kenneth Turan is telling the absolute truth. Gone with the Wind came out in 1939 and is based on the novel of the same name from 1936. It's about Scarlett O'Hara, the daughter of a plantation owner in Clayton County, Georgia. She's 16 years old at the beginning of the movie and the very picture of a Southern belle. Unfortunately for her, the American Civil War is just around the corner. As the movie progresses, the hardships pile on. We see Scarlett transform from that 16-year-old girl into something completely different, all because of one trait that young Scarlett O'Hara has in spades. Hold that thought. Author Margaret Mitchell has said that if the novel has a theme, it would be survival. Everyone in the Old South went through terrible hardship, and some survived, while others, who seemed to be stronger, did not. What was the difference? Those who survived came to call it gumption. Scarlett has gumption. Margaret Mitchell was from Georgia, just like Scarlett, and had come up hearing stories of the Old South and what people went through. She took an interest in the concept of gumption, and through no small amount of it on her own part, wrote Gone with the Wind. It was a massive worldwide hit. Margaret Mitchell had gumption. Across the pond, there was a lesser-known actress named Vivien Leigh. Just like every other actress in the world, she wanted the part of Scarlett. But unlike any other actress in the world, she got the part. Vivien Leigh had gumption. Producer David O. Selznick was not a conventional man. He risked the entire production of Gone with the Wind time and again over whatever details he felt were most important. Maybe it was the costumes, or the film color, or the script. It all seemed arbitrary and foolhardy to others. The reporters of the time even referred to the production of Gone with the Wind as Selznick's folly. But Selznick had a vision, and he was going to preserve it and see it through. It nearly cost him everything many times over. David Selznick had gumption. If gumption is what Scarlett has and others lack, then surely this convergence of Ms. Mitchell, Miss Leigh, and Mr. Selznick is what the film version of Scarlett needed. That gumption carried Scarlett far, and it carried Gone with the Wind even farther. Quite simply, it lit the box office alight in a way never seen before or since. About 95 million Americans saw Avengers Endgame in theaters. 97 million saw Avatar. But no less than 202 million went to see Gone with the Wind in theaters. Keep in mind, the population of the U.S. was actually much less than 200 million in 1939. If you adjust for inflation, it has remained the highest-grossing movie ever for 81 years straight. Normally, I would try to offer some kind of comparison, but there is none. The success of Gone with the Wind beggars belief. So what is it about this movie that made it so successful? I watched it the other day to prepare, of course, and in my notes regarding how I felt at the end, I simply wrote, very impactful. When you're watching the final shot with the music and the imagery, it feels like you've lived a lifetime with Scarlett. How did they do that? I have some thoughts. The colors, the costumes, the sets, the matte paintings, and most of all, the performances are not to be ignored. This is one instance where the combined benefit of every detail is crystal clear, and the end result is that every scene is so visually rich that your memory will let go of anything to hold on to this instead. This isn't like some newer movies where the costume and set designers seem to be fighting for your attention. Sorry, cough came out of nowhere. The guiding hand of producer David O. Selznick is ever-present and pretty much flawless. Thematically, Margaret Mitchell said the novel was about survival, but I think the screenplay was adapted to be about the slightly broader theme of change and how people cope with it. Scarlett is not a nice young lady. She is horribly stubborn, and this drives her to become intensely manipulative. These are traits that burn more bridges than they build, and that makes Scarlett's relationships volatile and unstable. Furthermore, she is a Southerner on the eve of civil war. In other words, Scarlett is primed to face massive change on a community level and a personal level, and she copes with all of it by living in the past. The very first thing you learn about Scarlett is her affection for Ashley Wilkes. He loves Melanie, but Scarlett is too stubborn to stop loving him. This love for Ashley is the crux of Scarlett's flaws. It's the linchpin. It represents her flaws. She spends so much time wishing things were different, wishing things were the way they could have been, or perhaps should have been in her mind. Namely, that she was with Ashley. This is what I mean by living in the past. The middle of the movie is filled out by Scarlett's remarkable ability to adapt to her circumstances, and we see her stubbornness serve her incredibly well. First, we see her grow up, then we see her survive and thrive. It's a great tribute to Margaret Mitchell and Vivien Leigh for creating this character and bringing her to life. She seems so self-absorbed and inept at the beginning, like she could use a good hard dose of reality. Then she gets it, more so than anyone could deserve, and she surprises us repeatedly. The script's ability to turn out scene after scene where characters surprise us while remaining in character is probably unmatched. It makes the characters feel so real. Near the very end, there is a moment where Scarlett finally faces the reality of her own stubbornness, and she surprises us again by actually letting go of her pride and letting go of Ashley. In essence, she realizes she has been living in the past and chooses to stop. By this time, Scarlett is on her third marriage, even though she stubbornly held on to her love for Ashley through all three. Her current marriage is to Rhett Butler, a man whose shrewdness is the only thing to come close to matching Scarlett's stubbornness. He is a fair foil to her, and their marriage is truly a difficult portion of the movie to watch, as their weaknesses combine against them, even while the audience knows this marriage can be saved. The very moment Scarlett realizes her love of Ashley is nothing more than stubbornness, she goes to Rhett as fast as she can. Rhett went home ahead of her, and she races through the mist to find him. Now, this is significant. Earlier, she mentioned a recurring nightmare where she's looking for something in the mist, something she doesn't know if she can find, and something that represents safety.
You were having another nightmare.
Oh, Rhett, I was so cold and hungry and so tired. I couldn't find it. I ran through the mist and I couldn't find it.
Find what, honey?
Oh, I don't know. I always dream the same dream and I never know. It seems to be hidden in the mist.
Darling.
Oh, Rhett, do you think I'll ever dream that I found it and that I'm safe?
Dreams don't work that way. But when you get used to being safe and warm, you'll stop dreaming that dream. And Scarlett, I'm going to see that you are safe.
Stay with me. In the moment she lets go of Ashley, she is no longer grounded. Her sense of safety came from living in the past, and now it's gone. She is looking for a new sense of safety, and her mind appropriately goes to her husband, and she starts searching through the mist. But as far as Rhett is concerned, the damage is done. He has been pushed too far, and he is literally on his way out the door. He leaves her, and Scarlett doesn't know what to do or where to go. Her sense of safety has been uprooted. Her hope for a new sense of safety has gone out the door. And that is why this character, who has stubbornly survived so much, is left destroyed. This left David Selznick with a bit of a problem. The movie ended on such a sour note. Not only did Rhett leave, but there was the death of a child, a miscarriage, and the death of Ashley's wife, Melanie. For me personally, I know if the movie ended there, I would have hated it. But Selznick came up with an ending at the last minute. Face down on the stairs of her Atlanta home, crying, Scarlett starts to remember Tara, the plantation where she grew up, the plantation we saw her fight so hard to save in the middle of the movie. She remembers the words her father, Ashley, and Rhett spoke about Tara. She'll learn to love Tara. The only thing she loves more than Ashley is Tara. She draws her strength from Tara. She looks up. She has found her sense of safety again, this time in Tara, and she intends to use it to find a way to get Rhett back. And we've seen what Scarlett can do when she puts her mind to it. This ending couldn't be better. It totally made the movie for me. Not only do we have hope now, but it suggests she will draw strength from her old home, Tara, to secure Rhett as her new home, her new sense of safety. And I just love that. As an audience member, you want so badly for them to work out their problems, and here's a glimmer of hope that they just might. After seeing how unhealthy a marriage can become, we also get this beautiful message of centering your sense of safety and security in your spouse. It's wonderful. Gone with the Wind truly is enormous in every way, as Kenneth Turan said. It's cinema operating at an extremely high level. How can I give Gone with the Wind anything less than 10 out of 10 commandments? It kept the 10th one. Be ye therefore perfect. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. If you enjoyed this, be sure to like and subscribe. It was very challenging for me to understand how this movie worked, but I enjoyed putting in the extra research. Let me know what you thought in the comments, and bye-bye.